So emotional eating is holding you back from more than just feeling at ease in your body and around food. It's holding you back from your goals. So if you're new here, welcome. My name is Michelle. I'm a certified holistic nutritionist specializing in emotional eating. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about what emotional eating is holding you back from. You know, we might think we've got all the other areas of our life figured out, and on the surface it might seem like that, but the way we feel about ourselves day in and day out, the obsessive thoughts about food and our body that we have, they suck a lot of energy from us and they prevent us from actually going towards what we want in our life. So when we are stuck in this emotional eating pattern, even when it's not active, there's still this level of not feeling good enough, this level of not fully feeling your self-worth or your confidence. And it's this sort of like numbing pain under the surface. It's almost like you're just waiting for your emotional eating to come on. And it's something that you haven't quite figured out yet. And a lot of the women that I work with, well, when they emotionally eat or even this pattern, they hide it in shame. They don't talk about it. It's something that creates this level of shame because we feel badly when we do it. We feel out of control. We feel like we're not in charge of our lives. And this lack of confidence and even having this pattern, it speaks volumes to what is in the way, blocking us from living the life we want or moving towards that life. If I were to sort of go back into my own journey, and this is very relevant for a lot of my clients, is that you're going after the things you want. You're going after your goals. Maybe you're going after the career you want. You're trying to socialize and do all the things. But this pattern holds you back because you emotionally eat to cope with discomfort, distress, uncomfortable emotions, low self-esteem, low confidence, and if you're emotionally eating and it's impacting you physically, you don't feel good in your body, you don't want to show up, if you have an emotional eating episode, there's more shame. So all of this is happening. And while you might have a lot of willpower and can move forward, and I myself had a lot of willpower and I can move forward, but there's like you're moving forward and dragging this anchor. It's not easeful. It doesn't feel embodied. It doesn't feel like, this is just who I am. It always feels like you're carrying this heavy weight on your back. And in a way you are. Maybe on the surface it looks great with your career and maybe your family, or maybe you're starting to see sort of where it's eroding a bit. But even then, those thoughts of food, your body, those obsessive thoughts, they're just like a broken record in your head. So they're on repeat. And those thoughts are not just like in outer space. They're taking energy from you. So part of your consciousness, your mind, is constantly obsessing about that. So that energy just physically is taken up, whereas if it wasn't taken up by these obsessive thoughts about food in your body, and a lot of my clients, when we do this work and they realize how much their brain has been obsessing and that space is clear, it's like, wow, I have all this energy to put it into something else. Imagine what you could do, where you could go, or just the calm you would feel without having this like buzzing in your head. And so emotional eating is holding you back. Not just, mentally you're hearing this noise, but physically if you're feeling discomfort in your body. And all of that energy, you're not able to put that energy towards your goals. And so you're missing out on life. We're not meant to be born and obsess about food and our body. We're meant to go after what is innately calling us forward. What goals or visions or ambitions that we have, or how we want to live, or how we want to show up as a parent, how we want to show up as a partner, how we want to relate to others. When you are confident in your body, in yourself, you're going to show up differently in relationships. You're going to be more present to life. You're going to be able to be with life and the ups and downs of life and move through and navigate it, and not feel like you're walking around with this anchor on your back or pulling this anchor. And so when we spend so much time obsessing about food in our body, where could that energy go? How could we improve? How could we, something that comes to mind is that your purpose, your career, all that energy that's being wasted on food and your body and obsessing about it, you can't use that towards your career or maybe helping others or creating something in this world that would help others. Or if you're a mother, putting that into your child and supporting them and guiding them and being that support for them. And so emotional eating becomes this thing that we're carrying around. And I think a lot of the times when we go to resolve this pattern, we're almost like holding ourselves back because we're so comfortable in this discomfort. We're so comfortable in these obsessive thoughts that when we want to change, it feels uncomfortable. But that's because when we move out of our comfort zone, no matter how not health-giving it is or supportive it is, there is an element of discomfort to move into a new place that is better for us. That's just what our brain loves to do. It wants to protect us from something that is foreign, even though it might be better for us. And so in those moments where you're trying to resolve this, or you're going towards a solution or a program or a process that's going to help you, and you do it and it works, or you step into that and you think, oh, no, and you go back, you're stuck again in your comfort zone and you're not going to reach the goals that you want. So it's so important to have a vision for yourself. Where do you want to go? What do you want to have? Once you resolve your emotional eating and you're not obsessed about food and your body, where do you want to put that energy? I'm sure you have some kind of inner desire and urge. I have clients, they want to show up more fully in their relationships. They want to have more boundaries and confidence. They want to stop people pleasing. They want to feel good in their body. They want to nourish their body. They want to improve their health. They want to have more energy. So all of these things, they want to show up as a better parent. They don't want to feel this suckiness, this draining feeling that they feel. And that's so possible, but you have to take that next step, knowing that stepping outside of your comfort zone is not going to feel comfortable. It is not going to feel comfortable because the comfort zone, even though it's really not comfortable, you're used to it. And so that's why it's familiar, it feels safer, but it's not really where you want to go because you're not here to be stuck in a comfort zone. We're meant to evolve. That is the natural inclination of a human, is to evolve, is to move forward. Just look at our history, look at our world. Things are just constantly evolving and moving forward. That's where we're here to innovate. So I just wanted to say with emotional eating, you have to recognize what it's holding you back from and really see, if you want to move forward towards something, what has it been holding you back from? Because if you kind of just placate and say, okay, that I'm just going to stay here, I'm going to wait it out. Yes, you might get a period of time in your life where it's more quiet and your pattern isn't activated, but what happens when it is activated? We can't predict the future. And if you look at our world, so much has changed and there are so many things that can trigger us into this pattern. Life is not becoming more simple. It's becoming more complex. There's more things happening and we need to be able to navigate that because all of these changes and complexities are what trigger our emotional eating. And it's asking us to wake up to a new way of actually meeting our true needs so we can move forward and come back to more wholeness, come back to more ease and confidence in our body, around food, but in our life, and to be able to go after what we're here to go after our goals, to show up for our children, our community, for ourselves, and to feel more fulfilled, not like we're just stuck in this pattern, because we don't want to be stuck in coping. We want to be moving into thriving. So if you're an emotional eater, one of the first places you can start with moving through this pattern is to start learning to discern true from emotional hunger. And I have a free guide below called What Are You Truly Hungry For? You can grab the guide at the link below. And if you want more support in moving through your emotional eating, you want to get to the other side, then you can find out more about my 12-week program, the Emotional Eating Evolution Program. This program is a step-by-step process with weekly coaching, one-to-one sessions, guidance, support, support to get you to the other side of your emotional eating pattern so you can get back to ease and confidence around food and in your body, but in your life, and go after your goals in a sustainable way. So you can find those resources below. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.